me the money. Oh, it's not Jerry Maguire. You may not hear this Jerry Maguire iconic line when you meet with your elders or your lead team, but the guarantee is someone will be thinking it. And if no one is, you need to add someone to your team. Hi, I'm Stan Granberg with Kairos Church Planting, and I'm glad you're tracking with this Spring Growth Surge course. It's designed to help your church grow. And our prayer for you is that when you come out of Mother's Day and see summer looming around the corner, you'll meet the summer challenge with new people and new energy in your church. In the last video, we focused on gaining leader buy-in. And in today's video, we're continuing the leader buy-in process by looking at budgets. And then to add a little spice, I'll answer the question about whether you should use bounce houses, Easter egg hunts, and the like as part of your Easter plan. If you missed the earlier video on gaining leader buy-in, pause this video right now and take 15 minutes to watch that earlier video and get those 4 convincing statistics, 5 leader struggles, and 5 buy-in strategies. Get them in mind, and then you'll be ready for budgets and bounce houses. And most of the time, when we hear the words vision casting, our minds go immediately to the big stage. And that charismatic leader who with passion and energy paints a picture of what could happen and gets our blood flowing into the future. And that's the vision at the 30,000 foot level. It's exciting. But if big stage vision is all there is, I promise you, no matter how charismatic, how visionary that big stage leader is, that vision's going nowhere. And think of this big stage vision casting as vision level 1. So it's our big stage. And to get vision activated though, vision has to work its way into vision level 2. At Kairos, we call vision level 2 the ministry plan. Where vision level 1 is based around pictures, vision level 2, the ministry plan, is based around words. But before that vision can really gain traction, it's got to get to the ground level, where the rubber meets the road. That's vision level 3. And if you're tracking with me, you've probably already guessed, vision level 3 is the budget. And the budget is where the pictures of level 1 and the words of level 2 are translated into the numbers that actually get things done. Where vision level 1 gives us the why, and vision level 2 gives us the what, vision level 3 gives us the how. And that vision is dead in the water without the how. I don't think that's what you want to happen to your vision. See, a budget is an amazing vision planning tool that I'm excited to get into your hands. Now, this Excel spreadsheet is going to walk you through 6 areas. Across from top to bottom, we've got exterior signs, interior signs, print materials, building cleanup and prep, stage design, and then finally there's a category of others for anything else you may want to do. And across the top we have these categories. So first category is the specific item we're talking about. Then we move over to vendors to keep track of where you're ordering things from. Then we have the quantity needed, which answers the question of how many. Then we have the date needed. This is when you have to have the item in hand. Next we have the date to order. When you fill out the Excel spreadsheet, and my strong suggestion is you sign this budget spreadsheet to someone in your church who is not you. This person needs to be detail-oriented, likes tasks, and who you want to raise in their level of discipleship involvement. Be sure you know when you're looking at the date to order how long it's going to take you to actually receive the item. There's little more frustrating than not having what you need when you need it. Next is projected cost. You fill this in by research. And then we have actual cost that comes out of your bank account. And finally, we've got comments. And there's two questions here. What did we learn and what should we do differently? And particularly this first time through a growth surge, you're going to learn some tips and tricks. There's some things you want to add, some things you won't want to do again. And this is where you can record what you learned so you'll remember it for next time. Now, as you look at this spreadsheet, you may be thinking, our church has never done anything like this before. If that's your thought, you're pretty much like most churches. Doing special things for holidays has not been part of many religious traditions. And even fewer churches do anything like this for a growth surge. So don't let the lack of experience put you off. You're transforming your church into a dynamic 21st century church that's reaching people for Jesus. And you're creating a mind shift in your people. You're helping them view your church and their discipleship in a more fruitful way. Special. You're going to brand your Easter event with its own colors, its own graphic. And so for a growth surge, the design concept is to create something new that draws people's attention. We've got two placements of signs here, exterior and interior, that do two different jobs. So your exterior signs, they are mostly for your guests. They're those people that are going to drive by, but they've been looking at your church forever and they've just lost sight of you. We're talking about A-frame roadside signs or banners that grab attention and raise curiosity. And those people who've never given your church a second thought now begin to think, hey, something's happening in that church. And second, your external signs give direction to those people who've never been to your church. Do you remember the last time you went to a completely new church? It's a bit overwhelming. Where do I park? Where's the door? Where do I go when I get inside? What if I get lost? And you never want to leave your guests wondering where they go. There's a good rule of thumb. It's that your guests should be able to see a direction sign every step, every turn of the way. So I encourage you to walk from your parking lot to your worship center. And if there's some place you can't see a directing sign, you don't have enough signs. And the second kind of signs we're talking about is our interior signs. And our interior signs are both for your guests and your people. And so you're going to put your interior signs up several weeks in advance of Easter so that your once or twice a month attenders have a chance to see them. So remember that in a growth surge, especially an Easter growth surge, your goal is to get all those people who should be with you actually with you. You're trying to draw them into a 4-week Easter to Mother's Day experience that will reconnect them to God and re-engage them in the habit of worship. And when you start putting up your Easter signs, you're setting a new stage that raises your people's anticipation of Easter and what God is going to do. And next is printed material. You've got 3 types of printed material here: your invitation commitment cards, your invitation cards, and your connect cards. So let's first talk about the commitment cards. Get your calendar out in front of you and look down on week 7. Week 7, you're going to ask your leaders to begin praying for people whom they're going to invite. And you'll make that same ask of all your people on week 6. Now, that invitation commitment card gets those invites of people out of your people's heads and onto paper where they're going to become more real. And you can design your invitation commitment cards almost any way you want to. You can be as simple as having everyone write the name of a person on a sticky note and then put those sticky notes on a wall where they become a prayer wall. And we did that once at our church and had over 3,000 names on the wall. And believe me, that makes an impression. Or you could create a card for people to post on their refrigerator where they're going to see it every day and be reminded to pray for those people. Then we've got your invitation card. Your invitation card is going to be a professionally printed card that's going to have your Easter logo as well as your church logo and information on it. You're going to put it into your people's hands so they can put it into the hands of the people that they're inviting. And we're going to provide some examples for you in the marketing video. But right now we want you to begin to think about you're going to have a professionally printed invitation card for your people to give to the people they're inviting. And then finally we have the Connect card. You may have, and I hope you do, have a Connect card that you use normally in your every Sunday gathering. But with that Connect card, you're going to gather information from every person who attends on Easter. And again, we'll give you an example in the marketing video. And then we have our building cleanup and prep. Have you ever seen that air freshener commercial about being nose blind? Well, we church leaders, we can be particularly able to become nose blind about our own buildings. We quit noticing all those dings and deficiencies and delayed maintenance items that we see every single day. But when guests walk into your church, they are in a hypersensitive mood. They notice everything that you've become blind to as a consistent leader. You know, any time that you plan a growth surge, it's time to do a building assessment. Get a pad of paper and start at your driveway entry, walk all the way around your building, outside, and then go inside all the way around and ask yourself these kinds of questions. What's broken? What's 30 years old and out of date? What needs to be cleaned? What needs to be replaced? In particular, pay attention to these three areas. First is your primary entry door. Second is your bathrooms. And third is your children's area. These are the areas that most guests are going to notice the most. And finally, let's look at stage design. And here we're specifically talking about making that shift in your podium area to a stage area. And think about it this way. A podium is simply the place where people go to stand. A podium has no inherent communication value to it. A stage, however, is where people expect things to happen. And if we're creating an Easter experience, we want them to know that something is going to happen. Now, under the stage design, we have two kinds of gifts. One is the everyone gift, and then there's the guest gift. You know, in a growth surge, we're helping people create memories. We want them to see their worship as an experience of God. And a gift is a great way to make that experience stick. I'm not talking about big things here. Think about putting your Easter design and your church logo on a refrigerator magnet. Or put it on a bookmark or an air freshener or on prayer cards that people can put into their wallet and purse. And these little gifts act as one, as enticements, and two, as thank yous for coming, and three, as reminders to keep coming. And that's all in one little tiny package that you get for just a few cents. And then we've got the guest gift. And hopefully you're already using some kind of a guest bag or a packet that you use every Sunday. And for Easter, put something special into that dresses it up. Be sure you have a delightful invitation for them to continue coming back for this interesting series that your pastor began on Easter Sunday that could potentially change their life. So we've talked about a budget that's critical because of these three items. First, it's a vision tool. Second, it's going to help you get buy-in from your leaders as you talk about the actual cash costs. And then third, it's your plan to make things happen. So I hope you see what a powerful tool a budget is. So now let's hit that last piece, the bounce house. You know, bounce houses are such a favorite event for so many churches because they gather kids, and where there's kids, there's parents. We call a bounce house a splash event. And a splash event is a one-off event that's intended to draw a crowd. And some typical Easter splash events are things like the bounce house, Easter eggs dropped from helicopters, pancake breakfasts, mobile petting zoos, all sorts of things like that. However, at Easter, you're going to have your hands full pushing forward your growth surge. And our wisdom to you is to spend your effort on the main thing at Easter and use splash events at other times. So this is what you do for Easter bounce houses. Don't do them. So that's it for today. Your assignment is to find someone on your leadership team or your church to help you put together your Spring Surge budget to use in your buy-in meeting with your leadership team or your elders. In our next video, Josh Gramberg, who's a professional portrait artist and design specialist, is going to walk you through how to create a storyboard for your Spring Surge. And you're going to find out that the storyboard is a fantastically helpful preaching tool.